Hello, everyone. It's me, Andrew. I'm here in my home in lovely Ligonier, Pennsylvania. Hopefully, you all are doing well out there and that you're having a good Friday evening. So, I'm a little bit late. We had some technical difficulties. I had I kind of forgot that I got a new phone since the last time I went live with y'all. So all of the saved kind of stuff for that wasn't saved anymore. And so I had to, they had to send a kind of a verification code. And the power went out last night at some point. So all of the computers were down, so I had to message William, and he's doing a show right now. So, anyways, long story short, we're here now. But yeah, that was you know, uh, I guess I was just like assuming that I just like turn on the phone and there we go. But we're here now. So anyway, hopefully y'all had a good Friday. If you're watching, say hello. I don't know how many people are gonna actually tune in because we are kind of later than usual, and sometimes when we miss that kind of like window of when folks kind of jump in, uh then we don't get as many viewers, and so there's that. And hopefully I'm streaming to everywhere as I'm supposed to be, um but we'll see. All right, so oh, Vicky's watching. Howdy, Vicky. Let's see if I can get the comments working. The computer, oh, it's working. The computer here has still not loaded. So I can't see anything on the computer. But I guess I kind of feel like you just kind of have to roll with things. Like it used to stress me out a little bit more, and I'd get like so anxious about doing these live events because like I was like, oh, I have to have this, 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 and this, and now like it'll be what it'll be, and that's kind of how things are rolling. Um, anyways, Susie, our neighbor's watching. Howdy. Hopefully, y'all are having a good Friday. It was kind of it was a busy day, a productive day for me. I worked on some pieces that I'm going to show tonight. I've been wanting to make them for a while now. I had these vintage brass stampings, or kind of like little frames, and I wanted to use them. And I've been kind of like, what should I do? What should I do? So I spent most of today working on those. I was listening to the audiobook of The Glass Maker, and that's pretty good. I think that may be the pick for the book club. We've been talking about maybe revamping the book club. We've been taking a while off from doing the book club, and we had a couple people kind of express interest in doing it again. And I'm trying to keep my schedule a little lighter this year. So I'm not going to be on the road as much. Last year or this year, but this the past couple months I've been traveling all over, and I kind of am curious to see how many miles I've traveled. I'm also a little bit horrified to see how many miles I've traveled. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna try to have a little bit more of a gentle pace for the upcoming year. Um, and we'll see how well that goes. I have already booked two kind of major teaching gigs for next year in the fall. Um, so we'll see how busy I manage to pack into my schedule. Um, anyways, it's been kind of a weird day. William got up super early so that he could go to the Russell House and set up for a show that he's at. If you didn't get a chance to see it, he did a little tour The Russell House is only a couple blocks away from the shop, and they're doing a little holiday show. So if you're in the Johnstown area, definitely stop by. Um, I'm gonna maybe be at the shop this weekend while he's working the show. I don't really know all the details of that quite yet. I need to talk to him when he gets home and kind of plan what projects I'm going to bring. Because if I'm there and I don't have projects of my own, then I start moving furniture around, which is not William's favorite. Well, I guess he doesn't mind. But sometimes when I'm there, I'm like, oh, wouldn't it look good if this was here and this was there? And then I make a mess in the store. Um, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so let's see who else is tuned in. Michelle's watching it. Howdy, Michelle. Yeah, so I've just been working away. I've been I've been kind of working on some of the paintings and collages that I started in Italy. They're kind of going slower than I'd like because I haven't had like a real time to like just like buckle down and work on them. I did finish this new series of little pieces, and I think they turned out pretty good, if I don't say so myself. And hopefully, y'all will like them because that's what I got to show tonight. I don't know if I'm going to stay on, if it's going to be like a great long event tonight because I do have some projects I'm trying to finish up. There's a bunch of deadlines coming up in a few days, and I kind of want to get some of that work situated. It's always, I'm trying to get better about not waiting till the last minute, and whether or not I'm successful with that is debatable, but I feel like I'm trying to at least get ahead of things instead of waiting. So we'll see how that goes. Um, and yeah, so I don't know. It's been just like a kind of cold, snowy day here in Pennsylvania. And I don't know. Me and the cats have been hunkered down in front of the heater, listening to the audiobook and making stuff. So it's not super eventful, at least not comparatively. If you've got anything going on that's good and nice, it'd be lovely to hear. Michelle says it's getting close to my procedure and to my hubby's appointment for his something update. There's a little thing over, what does it say? His surgery update. Well, hopefully, both things go well for y'all. That'll be nice to, get done what you need to get done and hopefully feel better and healthier, you know. That's always good, I think. Um, we have been working on a couple of things in the background. I'm always kind of working on something in the background. And one of the big focuses will be getting the studio kind of situated and everything that kind of goes into that. And when we were there when I was there the last time, William's been there because he's been doing shipping and stuff. But when it gets cold, I don't really like to leave the house very much, which is probably not very good for me. I need to probably get my steps in. Otherwise, I'm going to turn into a little log. I don't know. Um, anyway, so the last time I was there, moved around a bunch of furniture and kind of cleared some spaces out and kind of made it a little bit more accessible to get to the casting area. And the goal is hopefully, I don't know if we're actually going to be able to do it this winter because we're going to have to do some modifications. Um, to the with the ventilation system. So I don't know if y'all are familiar with casting, but for lost wax casting, you make a model out of wax. And then you put this plaster like substance around it called investment, and then you burn off the wax, and sometimes you can kind of melt it out using a steamer, which I'm going to try to do because There's this guy named Craig Dabbler, and he's based out of Tucson. And he was talking about getting this vegetable steamer and using that to kind of ease up some of the wax out of the molds. And the reason why one would do that is because it's supposed to smoke less. And the smoke, when wax is burnt, it kind of creates this not so good smoke. So it's good if you can kind of reduce that. Um, and so I'd like to get that. And generally speaking, steamers for jewelry um, kind of purposes are wildly expensive. I was like, I don't know why this is so expensive, but they're really, really super duper expensive. And I mean, any kind of like machine kind of technical equipment is generally more expensive, but they're like thousands of dollars. And this steamer that Craig was showing is like $40 on Amazon. So that's much more doable. So one of the reasons why I don't know if we're going to be able to get casting up and running this winter is because we have to put the ventilation in, and it just depends if there's snow or not, or ice, because we can't be like altering our structure when there's like a foot of, when there's snow on the ground. So we'll see about that. Hopefully, we'll have a couple nice days. It doesn't necessarily have to be warm, it just has to be free enough of any kind of ice or snow that we can get the vents hooked up. And I think once we get the vents hooked up, theoretically, there's nothing really stopping us now that we've got everything kind of situated. So we're kind of working on that, and um, in the background. And once we get that going, that'll be nice. Of course, when we decide to do casting, the price of metals shoot up. The price of silver right now is flirting with like $70 a troy ounce, which, if you're not familiar with precious metal markets, it's almost double. I'm hopeful that the prices will go back down. Like gold, I don't even look at anymore because it's just so much. And a little bit ago, I was doing this project where people were sending me their gold, um, and I was going to make things out of it. And I'm still on track to do that. It's just I need to get some more gold, that's like more pure gold, to make it so that it's a little bit more castable. So usually when you do like metals, when you're casting metal, you put 50% new and then 50% recycled, and then you can make something out of that. And that just helps it to cast better and not have a bunch of porosity and stuff messed up. It'll be my first time casting gold, so I'm a little bit nervous about that, but I think I've got enough folks that I can like phone a friend if I need to. So I'm still trying to do that, but I want to get more experience casting with the other metals, and of course those metals have gone up. So we'll probably be doing a lot of bronze casting to kind of start. I do have some stockpile of sterling silver, casting grain that we acquired a while ago. And I also have some pieces that I'm going to probably melt down. So I have enough of the silver to kind of get going, but we'll see. You know, so I do want to practice first though with the bronze, so that if I mess up, it's not completely a failure. And of course, if you mess up, you can just melt it down again. Of course, every time you heat it up and melt it down, you have to add more new metal, so that you just have a little bit better success with casting. Anyways, let's see who is watching. I see a couple more folks have tuned in. Sandra from Sweet Pea Gemstones is watching. Howdy. Um, Sanders says it's only 4,300. Yeah. So, yeah. I ordered some gold. Like I worked real hard and sold off a bunch of stuff and I ordered what I could afford. And when it came, they had to tape the bag to a piece of cardboard. So I went to throw it away and it looked like little bits of glitter in the bottom of a bag. And I was like, so clearly that's not enough to do anything with. I mean, you can always do something with something, but it's not enough to be an equal amount as to the other stuff. So I gotta, you know, I don't know, win the lotto. We're gonna have to like call the AG Bead Fam energy and like manifest that so that I can do some big things. I can buy like 2 ounces of gold, maybe. I don't know. Supposedly it's supposed to go up to like $1 billion and over the weekend. So and by over the weekend I mean tomorrow. So that would be nice to win that. I could finally do all the things I want to do. Um, and it's fun to kind of daydream about that if you didn't have any kind of restrictions. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna flip it around. I mean, there's only like 4 people watching that I can see, so that's like not ideal. I think it's better when William's on, to be honest. People like to look at his face and his calm demeanor. Um, and yeah, so they like him to be on more than me, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But he's at the Russell House right now, so he can't be doing the live. Though I don't know, maybe he'll like if he's one of the 4 people watching, then that's down to 3. I wonder what we're gonna do for dinner tonight, and if because I know that Jada's is gonna be at the Russell House. So I don't know if they have anything that he can get to bring home. Michelle says, I think a lot of people are busy shopping and decorating. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's not, I mean, we've been doing these lives since the pandemic, the height of the pandemic. So, what, 2020 is when we started doing these lives every day, pretty much. So, we've been doing this almost every day for 5 years now. And really, there's not, I mean, I guess there is a rhyme and a rhythm, but in the beginning, there wasn't a choice because most folks were like buckled down, they couldn't leave. So, it was like a captive audience. Um, but we do notice that, like around the holidays and stuff, like our viewership goes down a lot. Sarah says, and you only started 16 minutes ago, so people are still coming in. I miss something many times, miss it so many times. It's so tiny. I need to get, oh, what'd I do? Oh, I touched it. And now it's even smaller. What am I doing? Oh well, whatever. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not completely, I mean, I just don't have anything to talk about really. I mean, it's like I could talk about how I love my cats. It says, I've missed your live so many times because I something. LOL. Is it late? I can't see. It's so tiny. Let's see if I can make it bigger. I can't make that bigger. Oh well. I'll just have to, it's kind of like ad lib. They edit out a word and I have to guess what that word is. Because there's this big dollar sign, like so on my screen, I have like the control panel and stuff, and it's got all these little tiny buttons. And since the last time that I've done this, they've added a bunch more. And I don't actually know what all the buttons are for. So I have to ask William. Um, And Sanders says, we got snow flurries today. I'm guessing that's today because I can see a T and a part of a O. So I'm guessing that's today. We had snow all day, I think. It, I kind of don't even look out the window anymore. Um, I don't know. I don't think, for me, like I've grown to become acclimatized. I'm acclimated to being in cold weather. Like I don't get as cold, like I don't shiver as like violently as when I first got introduced to cold weather. But you know what? It's still not my favorite. I'm like the cats. Like Gilbert, like Tallulah, she loves to go outside and play in the snow. But she don't do well in the heat. She gets like faint and kind of starts breathing heavy. Which I also feel that as well. But um, Gilbert, he just like looks out the window and he's like, oh, that's nice. But he won't go outside. And I kind of feel that way. So I'm like, I need to move somewhere that is like warmer, and I don't have to mess with snow or ice. Um, and I don't know. That's the fantasy, right? Oh, look, the computer finally started. That was only took since 7:30 that I tried to start. So what time is it now? I can't even see what time it is. And it's not actually starting. Um, Diane's watching. Hi, Diane. Hopefully you're having a good Friday. Um, yeah. I kind of just feel like stuff's like if you missed the first part of this, and which probably you did because we were really just kind of getting folks tuning in. When I try to start earlier, oh, William's watching. Hi, William. When I try to start on StreamYard, because I have a new phone, it did not remember. It is like, I don't know you. And so it did not log into the StreamYard account. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll just look, because then I'll just sign in. And then so it sent a two-factor verification and it sent it to William to the info address. And so I had to try to go on the computer. And of course, last night at some point, the power had went out. And so all of the computers were down. And I didn't really think about it, like, because I was busy trying to make stuff today. So I wasn't on the computer. I used my phone mostly for everything. The only time that I use the computer really is if I have to print something or if I have to do design work on like Illustrator or Photoshop, which I don't do as much anymore because there's a couple different programs on my phone that I use. But anyway, so that's when I realized that none of the computers were operational. And so I had to message William, and he was at the show, and I was like, what's the code they sent you? Um, let's see. I got Maybelline's watching. Howdy. Leslie's watching. Howdy. So folks are trickling in. Um, but anyway, so that's why we were a little bit late getting started because I couldn't get the code. And then William finally saw the message and was like, here's the answer. And then so here we are. But I didn't I mean, today has been pretty chill. Knock on wood. Because I've just been working. And sometimes I've been thinking about kind of turning the camera on while I'm working. The only thing though is that my audiobook is playing. So maybe I can listen to my audiobook on my headphones because you can't really play the audiobook and like stream it because then the publishing houses will go after you because you're not supposed to like broadcast. They tell you, they're like, no part of this audiobook is can be broadcast without permission. Um, so anyways, I also think that some of the books I listen to, I'm gonna get in trouble. So I was thinking about how I could like put a camera, like mount a camera and then kind of just like listen on my like headphones and then have the camera going. I don't really think it's like conducive to like talking to people while I'm working. Um, just because it's just like it takes me out of the flow state. When I get kind of like, I kind of almost go into like a trance when I'm working because I do a lot of like the same things over and over. And also, I'm listening to my audiobook and I just kind of want to like slip into the flow state. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to like interact with people. Um, William did a work with me and he was like talking to people and stuff the whole time. And I don't mind that. I just don't get as much done. Um, so that's kind of the trade-off. Like, do you actually like want to see me do work or do you kind of like want me to engage? If I have to engage, then it kind of takes me out of it and I kind of work much slower. Am I much slower? I mean, like almost nothing gets done. Let's see. Maybelline says, miss chatting with you. Just got to watch replays, but I did sneak in a purchase from the Italy finds last week. Oh, good. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. I'm still undoing some of those bundles. I did get a different kind of pick tool, and that's helped. I use this knotting tool to help undo the knots because these are like they're strung up on into these big hanks, and the hanks are like I don't know how they knotted them, but they're like super duper knotted, and they're on this ancient cotton thread, and so I don't want to break the thread because I don't want to restring everything. And so I had this little knotting tool that I was using to kind of unpick the knots, but it was flexible, so I wasn't really getting this the I don't know what you would call it, but I wasn't getting the power to get it the knots to come undone. So, yeah, so I finally got one that I could, and that's helped speed things up. But I'm still unknotting things and tying stuff. Susie says you should do what is comfortable for you. I think I will. I do like sharing the process of like working. So I might have the camera going not tonight, but like in the future. I've been thinking about different ways that we can like engage with folks. um and like one of the things I've kind of missed is that like for a long time we were really pushing like tutorials and doing demos and things like that, and that kind of has shifted a lot because we've moved the store. So when we moved the store, basically the income that we were pulling in from the store became like almost zero. And that's just going to take time for us to build up, the physical location and set down roots and, get that going. And when we first opened 14 years ago, it took us a while before we were self sufficient. William had another job and he worked that other job. And back in the day, I worked 7 days a week and I ran the online store. And I also was freelancing in the evenings. So we had this satellite internet. So after midnight, they released their bandwidth restrictions. So from midnight till probably like 4 or 5 in the morning, I would work on my freelance work because it was all online. And I worked shows too. So we did that when we were getting things going. And yeah, it took 4 years. It's less than what I had planned. Ideally, I had like set like I would be out in 5 and I did in 4, which is I think kind of impressive. Or shaved a whole year off. Um, and that's kind of like at the same time we bought a house and did all that, and we're super fortunate and very thankful that we were able to do all that, and kind of accelerate that. But when we moved the store this past time, we knew that we would be, that the store wouldn't be pulling the same kind of numbers. We thought they would be better, just because we thought more folks would come over the mountain than they have, but it's still not where they were previously. So it's going to take a couple of years for us to kind of rebuild that. And so the kind of the where the give on that is that we've been pushing more live sales, and we do live sales every day, because we have to make up that income somewhere. And I've been trying to teach more and um, sell more of my artwork so that that can also bring in some income and kind of free things up a little bit. But until the numbers pick back up, that's kind of like the situation that we have to deal with. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Let's see. Michelle says, hubby isn't a big Christmas person, but this year he has been watching more Christmas movies and TV shows with me, so I have been missing a lot of the lives. Well, that sounds fun. We watched a Christmas movie last night. It was called My Secret Santa, and it was kind of like Mrs. Doubtfire, but with Mel from Virgin River. Maybelline says, by the way, did you or William have jet lag? You seem so energetic based on the photos or reels you posted. Um, so I don't, oh, from when we were in Italy, um, I don't, I mean, we were tired, and my sleep schedule was off, but because we are naturally night people here, when we went over there, they're 6 hours ahead. So we were kind of like on the same schedule. When we came back, we were real energetic the first day coming back. We started cleaning the house. And then the second day, we were kind of thunderstruck. At least I was. And it's kind of like you're getting used to things again. And like I think because I was flying and stuff, that kind of messed up I wasn't drinking maybe as much as I probably should have on the plane, and I wasn't walking around. Um and so that kind of messed with my circulation a little bit, and like I was the first couple days I had a little bit of a gout, not a full flare up, but I could tell that like my foot was not happy with the situation. Luckily I had that magic arnica, and originally I was going to squeeze the little arnica into like little containers and sell it, but I don't know, I'm going through it so quick that I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. So um maybe next trip I'll load up and bring a case home. Maybelline says, nice. Being from the West Coast, Europe travel was tough for me. Oh, I bet. Um, yeah, we were lucky that it wasn't too bad. Um, there's always kind of like an adjustment anyways, like whenever I travel. Like, I'm not a good sleeper anymore, and I don't think I ever I don't know. I'm torn about this. So like I was never like a good sleeper that I would sleep like a whole 8 hours in a row kind of thing. Like some people they sleep 8, 10 hours and then that's like normal. But I've always slept like 4 to 5, maybe 6 hours. Um, and like my natural rhythm has always been I've slept less. Um, and when I was younger, I could just sleep anywhere. I mean, I could crawl under the table at a show and pass out and take a power nap for an hour and then wake up and then go, go, go. But nowadays, it takes a little bit longer to kind of get acclimated to um, like falling asleep. And so, like, there's always things for me, like, it's just like, it's never going to be like super easy anymore. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just not. It's just gonna take me a minute to get used to anything really. Like whenever I travel for some of the show or for the classes that I do, but generally speaking, I'm there for like a week. And pretty much by the time I've gotten like used to the bed or whatever, it's time to go. So, you know, that's just how it is nowadays. Maybelline, I'm glad that Italian Arnica is working. Do they I guess import to the United States? Um, we kind of looked and uh the one that I use or that we bought does they don't sell that one. They sell the in this like tubs, and I don't know if it's like the consistency is the same or what, but the one that I have is in like a pump bottle, and that absorbs really quick into your skin, so that helps, I think. So I don't know, but we haven't been able to track it down. We did have Jen, who's my mentor in Italy, said that she could send some over or bring some over whenever she comes to the US next. But it's kind of tricky because like uh when you're shipping stuff nowadays, there are certain countries that have cracked down on the tariff situation, and like rightly so. So not only do you have to pay a tariff to send it, but you also have to pay a tariff to receive it. Um, and you know it adds up. um and so like one of my friends, she is and her job is import export of beads, and she got hit with like it was like a $1,500 bill, and they're trying to like dispute it, and there's like this whole thing, and everybody wants to get paid. Nobody wants to be out the money, which is understandable. But you know, it's hard. Yeah. So unfortunately, we can't kind of like ship back and forth. Like it's not as easy or as inexpensive as it used to be. Used to be they could ship it and it's no problem. Maybe it would take a little bit longer. Um, but nowadays it's much more expensive. So, um, so we're not able to ship and receive stuff the same as we used to. Like we were for a while we were importing stuff from the Czech directly from the Czech Republic, and I was working with some of the people who are making the beads, and I was getting some really interesting and very unique and things nobody else had, kind of designs. And unfortunately, we just had to stop that because all of the prices have gone up. So not only are the prices that we pay for shipping going up, but they oftentimes buy some of the raw materials or fuel from other places, and all those have gone up as well. And so like you don't really think about it, but like Russia at one point was like a huge energy manufacturing, and I don't know if it's like Russia or Ukraine that was doing it, but they were like supplying a lot of energy for other countries. And so because of the conflict which is still going on there, um in the war that's going on over there, all of the price, and there's like embargoes on certain uh things from the, you know, there's a whole political thing, and so that's caused all of the fuel prices to go up in the in those areas. So that means the fuel's more expensive. So also the raw materials are more expensive, and some of the colors, like I got a thing from one of the enameling companies that I work with, and they said that they're gonna have to reformulate one of the colors because they can't get the raw materials anymore. It's just they come from places where they can't get them anymore. So you know, that's changing things up. Like not only is it more expensive, but also um you just have to learn to work with a new formula, and it's not the same. Like it would be nice if it was exactly the same as it was before. It's not. And there's an analyst that I follow. Her name is Laura Woods, and she uses this red in her work. And she's kind of known for this kind of signature red, and she tried to use it and it worked completely different, and she was super not happy. So she had to like source down people who had it like secretly in their stash, and get that from them instead of getting it from the company and getting the new recipe. She wanted the classic recipe. um and one of the enamel people, he slipped and fell, and he died, and he didn't have the recipe written down, and so nobody knows how to make it. So not only, there's things like that. Like at one point, one of our friends, they have a paint company where they make paint, and they during the pandemic there was a fire in Texas, which all of the paint companies, I guess, the canisters that the paint is uh packed in is manufactured from this one factory in Texas. And because they had a fire there, then they didn't have access to containers for their paint. And so they were like putting stuff and all kinds of stuff, whatever they could get. Um, and so, like I don't really think about that as much sometimes. And I think as we go forward and we're, being more directly involved in the manufacturing processes of stuff, I am starting to take notice more of how all these things are interconnected, and how like the geopolitical situations that we're living through have direct effects on the stuff that we buy, sell, and make. Which I never thought that I'm just like, I like beads, and you don't really think about that, but at least I don't. And so yeah. Anyways, I've been talking for 45 minutes, and so I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you the stuff I made, and I can talk to you about that. Um, and yeah, so we'll look at that. So you're gonna see the ceiling for a minute. Let's see if I can get this. Okay, the camera button. Okay, ultra back ultra wide camera. Is that it? All right. Oh, it's lopsided. I hate that. Let's see. I have to go into settings. Where's the settings? Alright. Did you see these patches that we got from my friend Rana at Autofin? She mixes this out of that Cantha fabric, and then they're iron on. So I'm gonna make myself like some of those dye sublimation on those bags, and then add these on. I might stitch them down so they're not just hanging on by the adhesive from the iron on. So that'll be fun, I think. She's got a bunch of different designs, but that's the ones I got. We were talking about maybe getting them for the store if people want. So we'll think about that. All right, I'm gonna put the ruler, and I don't know if this actually color balances it. It used to be I had a piece of driftwood and it would color balance everything. All right, we'll do this. This will be called New Polymer Pendant 1, NPP1. And then I'm going to sell these for um, $22. All right, and there's one. All right, so if you've never ordered from us before, let's see if I can get that ticker tape parade business going. I got it going at the bottom. All right, so if you've never ordered from us before, you take down the lot number, and that's NPP1, and you send it to info@allegorygallery.com. And then it's first come, first serve. And if you claimed it, you're agreeing that you're going to buy it. So you can't claim them all and then be like, oh, I only want one, because then that's how you get excommunicated. So there's that. All right. So for today, this MPP1, and the first one is going to be this one. And I don't know. Like, we got these lights, but I still feel like I'm in a cave, y'all. All right. So this is polymer clay. I had these little brass kind of stamped pendants, and I was like, I need to do something with this. So I had these really cool vintage or antique chasing and repoussé, and I made a mold, and then I used polymer clay, and then I antiqued them. I also sculpted them a little bit and changed them up a little bit, so it's not using it straight from the mold. So this is going to be NPP1, and it's $22, and they all kind of look the same for this batch. So if these go well, I may make more, and then I'll maybe change up the colorway or something. All right, and then when this available. And I'll do another one of the flower ones. And I'll show I'm doing another one of the flower ones so that you can kind of see the difference. See how what I'm talking about where I've kind of added some embellishments. All right. So not only did I kind of antique the polymer clay, but then I went in and did a little bit light gold wash on them. So there's a little bit of razzle dazzle on them, and then I sealed them. So they should be nice, and I think they're fun. I like them. Great. This is all. If you don't like these, that's all I got for tonight. So I'm not going to tell you not to watch, but I'm gonna just say this is what I got. That's what's to eat tonight at dinner. You know, they're like, "Oh, what's for dinner tonight?" And I'll be like, "That's what we got." So this is kind of a Kimberly's watching a howdy. This one's kind of like a floral design. And I like them. I think they turned out pretty good. They turned out exactly the way that I had kind of envisioned. And I don't know if anybody's gonna buy them. I like them. I think they're nice. Um, and I got to use those little brass stampings that I've had hanging out for all of eternity. So the other thing I've got, there's this kind of like a deer type of antelope, and that's gonna be NPP4, $22. And then I'm gonna do NPP5, 22 again. Let's see. And one of the ones that I have is a bird. There's a little bit of a gold paint that I embellished it with. And then the sizes on these, I should probably tell you all the sizes. Um, they measure approximately, this says 24.5, and this is 32.7. So what is this? Just the frame part is 27.5 by 24.5. And yeah, all right. So I think this would be fun. I could easily see this like with a beaded chain or beaded rope of some like gold beads. You know, there's like a kind of a topaz color bead with like a gold luster on top. That would look really good. All right, let's see. I don't know if you can actually see these. And I don't have the email up yet because it's still loading. So I don't know if any of these have sold yet. All right. I'm gonna go. This one's a little bit darker. This is the flower. I kind of again. They're all a little bit different. So just keep that in mind. And that's what the back looks like. So they're nice and lightweight. In theory, you could use these for earrings. I don't know. I don't tend to like to have like rectangles for earrings. Just because it's kind of not the most smooth shape. Let's see if I can get the mail going. Okay. NPP7. And hopefully y'all are doing well and having a good Friday night. Do any of you have any plans for this evening that are fun? This is another kind of abstracted one. Kind of a florally design. You know, it reminds me a lot of fabric. I love fabrics, and particularly that kind of brocade with the different animals and stuff. Kimberly said, I'm working the day job and packing for North Carolina. Well, hopefully you have a good time. This is another kind of abstracted floral, kind of like a paisley almost. Maybe instead of popping in and out cooking dinner. What are you cooking for dinner? I don't know what we're gonna have. We might have leftovers from last night. I did start a bread, so if nothing else, I can make a flatbread. Um, here's another bird. Mail message import. I don't know what's happening. So this one has a little bit of that bird head. Put a bird head on it. And like I said, they're all a little bit different. Even the ones, like I tried to embellish them so that they're all a little bit unique. You can't see anything because it's got the comments in the way. So I'm gonna put these away. So this is NPP1, $22. It's gonna go away. But those would make cute earrings. I pressed all of these out one at a time. So, and they're a little bit more work than when I just do the other pendants because I have to glue them with an epoxy in place. These are polymer clay, and then they're in a brass setting. And then they're been embellished with paint and sealed. So polymer clay. I try to make them look like stone or old bone. I wanted them to look like really antique, like they're from antiquity. Um, and yeah. And so the back is brass. I've had those in my stash for a long time. This is NPP3, and that's that kind of floral botanical vibe. And I wanted to use them. And whatever you use on these, you have to do something that's real shallow. I think they're originally designed for like photographs, like a little charm for that. They're probably vintage. Um, I don't remember exactly where I got them. This one is the NPP4. Um, Kimberly says, you succeeded as trying to figure out if it was ceramic or leather. Was not expecting polymer clay. Well, the thing that I love about polymer clay is that it can mimic almost anything. You never know, but it does look like leather, doesn't it? When I was a kid, we used to make stuff out of leather, like barrettes, and sell them at the flea market. My sister Sheila kind of spearheaded that. She was very entrepreneurial spirit as a young person. Like she got in trouble um, for selling candy. She convinced my parents to go to the Sam's Club and get the giant thing of Now and Later and would sell the candy to the students. And then she got these friendship bracelets, and she's getting people to be making friendship bracelets and then selling the friendship bracelets. And that does not surprise me at all because my grandma, she was from the Great Depression or grew up in the Great Depression. And so um, she was always hustling with, and so if she was like alive today, she'd be like an Etsy superstar. And because she was always having like yard sales or doing quilt shows or all kinds of stuff. And she really encouraged us. Like when we were kids, we would do, um, she had these things called rock dogs, and they're basically pebbles that were hot glued together. And she'd paint the mouth and put glue googly eyes on. And us kids, part of our thing was like a kid craft was we would help her make these, but she would then sell them. Like at first, I thought she was gonna keep them for always and treasure them, but I was like, "Well, you need to keep a whole bunch of them." Leslie said, "I miss playing with polymer clay." Yeah, this would be fun. I think, like imagine that if it was like beaded, because I know you a beater. Beat around that, embellish it. That'd be real fun. A little cabochon flavor. I didn't make any cabochons, so anyways. Well, I guess I made a lot of cabochons. I just glued them in. All right. Let's see. MPP10. Let's see. We'll do this. This is the feet of that creature, but it's on its side, so it does you don't even know. I don't, at least I don't know. Um, unless it says, I accept the challenge. I'll try to beat around almost anything. Maybe I'll make some and I'll send some for you. And you can try to do that. Um, let's see. MPP11. I don't know if I should make those a little bit thicker then, because these ones I try to get them real thin. That's this one. This is MPP11. And I'm trying, William was telling me about how I don't charge enough for my work. So I think this is like a good, I feel good about this price. It's not too low. I th- I'm hoping it's not too high. I don't know if anything is selling or not because we are like in the extended stay of the computer updating. So this is going to be MPP12. That's another of the floral ones. But again, they're all a little bit different. I am thinking about maybe doing some colors, and kind of playing with some of the things. But we'll see if I have time. If they don't really sell, I probably won't make any more. I may make some more, a few more, but because they are kind of fun to make. But I was spending last night and um part of today, most of today, working on these. All right, this is another kind of abstracted one. And I kind of like them when they're abstracted because you don't really know what's going on. And that's all right. Kind of just has that kind of like you have a piece of like an antiquity kind of business. All right, this one's going to be another one of those little creatures. And that's going to be MPP 14, $22. But yeah, the thing is for me, I have so much other work to do, but I wanted to make these. So they were there and we found those little bezel shapes while we were cleaning for our Thanksgiving. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm gonna do this. So that's what I've kind of got. That's how my brain works. All right, here's another one. And I like them. I think they're fun. I think they look old and like they're antique. And then like the antique brass kind of bezel kind of helps with that. And then I painted gold on the sides. I was debating about painting them like a dark color, but I kind of like how the light kind of picks up that kind of gold. And like there's a couple different like antiques that you like some of the when you go like especially like to from Thailand, they sell these like Buddha tablets and they embellish their little clay tablets and they embellish on the side with a little bit of gold paint or a gold leaf. And it just gives a little bit of a little razzle dazzle. So I thought that was nice, a nice little touch. Um, I'm thinking about doing some other motifs, but I do like how they look ancient. So that's kind of like where my brain is kind of like operating at. Um, and I think that could be fun. Oop, I did an NN, so it's like 9-inch nails. Nope. So I'll do a bird. I don't have very many more of these left. But that's what I made for tonight. Um, but wouldn't this be fun? I have this old, this is from Naples, from Italy, and it's old coral. And wouldn't that look fun with that? Like this got that old kind of coral vibe, and then just have that come off. Didn't that? I think that looks fun. I don't know about y'all, but the old and the old, because these are kind of like they're not like a bright red, but they're kind of like that dull kind of orangey color of the old Naples coral. Um, and so, anyways, I think that's a fun kind of little combination. Picks up on the warmth of that. Or if you wanted to go the other direction, like this is like these the ones that we got that are from Timbuktu. And they're kind of this beautiful teal, ancient teal kind of green transparent glass. I think that looks fun too. They look like they're old, and that's what I was going for. Like that would be like if you found that, you'd be like, oh, look at this ancient treasure. And I'm all about ancient treasures. So I don't know. I think this is fun. I only did this one colorway, so I hope folks like it because that's all I did. All right. Maybe I'll do some other colorways, but are you selling the coral? I can. The coral is 120. If you're interested, I don't know. I have to ask William um if somebody already claimed it or not, but that was from my stash, but it's marked 120. All right. So this one is MPP 17, and that's that piece. All right. I'm gonna start packing this up so that I can get things kind of freed up. All right. So this is this one. And I had fun making them. I might make some of my own stamps that are more of my designs. I mean, I have lots of them. I have hundreds of stamps that I've carved. Um, and I may try to do that. Most of them are small though. That's the only thing. So they're not necessarily big like this. But maybe I have an owl that's a pretty big size. I may be able to pinch some out and see about that. Um, I might try to do that for the next batch. But I was thinking about different colorways. I am kind of like I love how these look ancient, but I was thinking about doing some colors. I was also thinking about maybe making some faux Roman glass. And because I've been doing that, I used to do that pretty frequently. And I think that could be fun too. But we'll see. I need I don't know. I think that if I have the backing on it, it may take away from the glass like appearance. So I'll have to do a test on it to see. Because if you have a backing, it's not transparent as much anymore. So that's the thing about that. All right. So the next one's going to be NPP 18. Like, I don't know what it is with the new operating thing, but it makes all the clocks disappear. So usually there's like a clock in my on my I don't know, it's like it doesn't want me to see. It's like there's a game that I play, and I don't really play it very often. And whenever I put it on this new operating system on my phone, it makes the clock go away. And I guess they're doing that so you don't know what time it is. You don't know how long you've been playing it. And then so I deleted it. I don't need to be tricked. Anyways, this is another one of those like abstracted kind of shapes. I like it. It's kind of like a paisley. If there's any kind of themes that y'all want to see in these, let me know. And then maybe I'll make them. I'm using these old chasing and repoussé ones, but I, in theory, have lots of things that I could make shapes with. So William is at the Russell House right now, and it's supposed to be the all weekend long. And I don't know. I may go on Saturday and Sunday, and then if I do go, I may bring some Christmas decorations and kind of like zhuzh up the place. And this is MPP 20. Oh, it's another of the floral ones. All right, so I have no clue if any of these sold or not. So I'm going to try to relaunch the mail. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, so I hope you all have been having a good Friday night. I may try to design something with those. And then I got this one. And just for a size comparison. All right. Well, I don't really have anything else planned. Um, I was gonna do some lots, but I kind of I don't know. I think that's good. I'm really want to get back to work because I'm in a really good spot in the audiobook, and I want to find out what happens. She just met this dude with pretty lips, and so I don't know what's gonna happen. Well, I kind of know what's gonna happen. You know, I can guess what's gonna happen, but yeah. All right, that's it. Bye. That was a prop. No, thanks everybody for watching. We'll try maybe to tune in maybe over the weekend sometime. I may go down. I don't know if I can figure out how to put my little headphones on and do the audiobook while I'm recording. I may do a little work with me and show you the sculpting of the faces. But yeah. All right. Have a good night, everyone. See ya.